Hello, welcome back. Okay, a new class, class 171, right, Marta? 171. She's nodding her head. She's not shaking her head. She's nodding her head. All right, so class 171. Aki morita, ay fresita, aki morita. We're going to talk about aki today, but first let me finish these sentences on page 184, 184.18. How many classes did I give last week? I gave 5 classes last week here in this room. I gave a few classes somewhere else, not here. All right, how many mistakes did I make in my last class? Me? Mistakes? I didn't make any mistakes. I never make mistakes. Well, I didn't make any mistakes I think probably I did. In the last class in the last class I was talking about Natasha Zarakovich, and I made a mistake. Yes. Her boss's name isn't Gregory, con I latina al final. His name is Grigori. So I made a mistake. But I made the mistake in writing as well. So it's a mistake, Marta. It should be Grigori. All right, so yes, I make mistakes sometimes. I'm not perfect, I try to be. I mean, somebody has to be perfect. I mean, it's not easy to be perfect, but somebody has to do it, right? It's not easy being a genius, but somebody has to do it. No, I make mistakes every day. I made mistakes yesterday. I made mistakes the day before. But to tell you the truth, really, now that I think about it, I've never made a mistake in my life. I don't make mistakes. Yes. Mistakes. Do you drive? Do you drive? Do you know how to drive? Do you know how to drive? All right. When you're driving, remember, you're always moving the steering wheel just a little. Son microcorrecciones de volante o de conducción que enmiendas al instante. Mistakes in life are normally microcorrections of the steering. That's all. Occasionally, you swerve or slam on the brakes twice a year in one or the other. But these are necessary to become a good driver. To become a good driver, you need to accumulate as many micro-corrections and macro-corrections as possible. So these are not mistakes. These are learning opportunities. So I don't make mistakes. I make learning opportunities. And I say, Lenny, I made another learning opportunity. Sounds funny, all right? Yeah, oportunidades de aprendizaje. Okay, fine. Yes. But mistakes don't exist. With the right attitude, actitud con C. En inglés es doble T al principio, attitude. With the right attitude, mistakes don't exist. Mistakes are learning opportunities. So, rectifico. I rectify. I correct myself. I didn't make any mistakes yesterday. I made several learning opportunities. So, and Akimorita too. But let's finish. So, how many ships did Columbus take to America? Well, I don't know. On his first voyage, he took 3. Eso sí, I know that. But he made 4 voyages to the New World. In 1492, in 1493, in 1498, and in 1504. Check it, all right? Now, how many ships he took? I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. That's your homework for tomorrow. Find out. Averigua. Entérate. Find out. Find is encontrar. Si añades out is averiguar. Lo voy a saber, lo voy a averiguar. Find out. Find out. La D de find, manda. Find out, find out, find out, find out. And so I have no idea how many ships Christopher Columbus took to the New World. The only thing I know is that on his first voyage, he took 3. The Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, which in Spanish is La Niña, La Pinta. Do you remember? Do you remember in the classroom? The teacher says, Jaimito, what were the 3 ships? And Jaimito doesn't know and he's not paying attention. But there's a pretty girl outside. He said, Santa Maria que pinta tiene la niña. Toma. So he knew it. The Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. Christopher Columbus took 3 ships. He didn't take 4, and he didn't take 2. He took 3. All right, and one more. How many beers did you drink last week? Last week I didn't drink any beers. I like beer, eh? But last week I didn't. Normally I drink wine, but last week I didn't drink any beers. But the day before yesterday I drank a beer. Yeah, I went to a special restaurant. Strange restaurant, a private club. I was invited, all right? And it was strange things, secret. And my friend was waiting for me, and he had a beer. And so I said to the waiter, well, I'll have a beer too. And it was good, eh? It was perfect. I was tired. I was hot. Yeah. But then I changed to wine. But I like beer. Spanish beer is very good. The beer in Spain is very, very good. And of course, remember, para decir montaña, you have to say cerveza Mao, número 10, mountain, all right? No digas mountain. Muchos decís eso. Mao, o Mao Zedong, mountain. Cerveza Mao, número 10, mountain con N intercalada. Mountain. And that's it. All right. Aquí Marita, listen, okay? And follow if you want. Last Friday, Aki Marita had a meeting with his boss and with his boss's boss. He knew he was going to have the meeting. Ya lo sabía. And he thought that the subject of the meeting was going to be about a new supplier. Mucho pasado continuo aquí, ¿eh? Y no pasado simple. Bueno, hay las dos cosas. He knew he was going to have the meeting, and he thought that the subject of the meeting was going to be about a new supplier, un nuevo proveedor. When he got to the meeting room, Aki's boss offered him a coffee and told him that the subject of the meeting was about Louisiana. At first, en un principio, Aki didn't understand. Then he remembered that Honda, he trabaja en Honda, coches, in the car division, not the motorcycle division of Honda. Then he remembered that Honda was building a new factory in the United States in a city called Baton Rouge. Palo Rojo, Baton Rouge. Todos franceses en Louisiana, eh? Baton Rouge. He didn't know why his bosses wanted to talk about the new factory in Louisiana, but he tried to be calm. He was nervous. He tried to be calm. His direct boss, remember, 2 bosses, his boss and his boss's boss. His direct boss told him, un nativo diría told him. His direct boss told him that Honda wanted a good man to go to Louisiana to organize the quality department. He told Aki Morita, that it was necessary to establish in the United States the same quality system that, thanks to Aki, gracias Aki, was so successful in Japan. Tan exitoso, de tanto éxito. Was so successful in Japan. ¿Recuerda la pronunciación? Japan. Aki didn't know what to say. He was flabbergasted. Yeah, ¿Y eso qué significa? What does flabbergasted mean? Pasmao, atónito. Huh? Aki didn't know what to say. Se quedó sin habla. Yeah, he was speechless. Aki didn't know what to say. He immediately con doble M, immediately, todo M, no N, como en español, inmediatamente, no, he immediately thought about his family. He asked his boss about the duration of the stay. Duración, duration, English and Spanish. He asked his boss about the duration of the stay. Aquí stay es un sustantivo. It's a noun. Estancia. Stay. How long will the stay be? ¿Cuán largo será la estancia? O sea, ¿cómo de largo? He asked his. Las pequeñas partículas fonéticas aquí, si las puedes, no, si los pasas por alto, pagarás un precio. If you overlook the little tiny phonetic details, you will always speak messy English. So you need to pay attention to the tiny little details. Yeah, he asked his boss. He asked his boss. He asked his boss. He asked his boss. Yeah, he asked his boss. But it's difficult for me to say that. He asked his boss. He asked his boss about the duration, ahí está, the duration of the stay in Louisiana. And his boss told him that it was for 3 years or maybe more. Wow. 3 years in Louisiana with the alligators. Yeah, and the swamps and the Cajuns, al estilo Cajun. He told him 3 years or maybe more. Aki spoke English well, which is not normal, eh? Most Japanese people don't speak English well. If you go to Japan, good luck. They don't speak Spanish and they don't speak English. But Aki is an exception. Aki spoke English well, but his wife didn't. His two children were young, and they had English classes every day at school. Maybe that's good, maybe. He told his bosses, he told his bosses that he wanted to discuss the matter with his family. They said, the bosses, they said they needed an answer. Fíjate, esto es reported speech, lo que llamamos reported speech. Indirect speech, reported speech. Ellos dijeron que necesitaban. O sea, mantenemos el pasado. Lo que decían es necesitamos. Dijeron que necesitaban una respuesta. They said that they needed an answer. They needed an answer during the next week, during the following week. Aki went home after the meeting. He got home at 9:30 in the evening. They work a lot of hours in Japan. His wife was busy when he got home. When he got home, his wife was busy helping the children with their homework. Aki decided to tell her about the offer or the order to go to the United States the next day, which was Saturday. All right. So Aki decided to wait until Saturday to break the news. To break the news. Romper la noticia. To break the news means to tell the news. Breaking news. All right, to break the news, to tell his wife. Aki's in a complicated situation because he speaks English well, which is very good. It's not normal. His wife doesn't speak English. And his children really don't speak English either. I mean, his children are young. I think 8 years old and 6 years old. They're quite young. And the typical English class in school which doesn't really teach them how to speak and understand. All right. And so he has a dilemma, because in Japanese companies and in American companies, in most companies everywhere, if the company offers you an opportunity or needs you to do something and you say no, it can be detrimental for your career. And I think in Japan, probably even more. Now, Aki Morita is a very successful engineer in the area of quality control, quality assurance, reliability, fiabilidad del producto, reliability. And he works very well. Well, he's a protagonist because he has established a quality manual. Because Aki's been working in the quality department for 15 years. And I think for the past 10 years, he's the manager for all of Honda. Honda Japan, not Honda Europe. But he's very respected and he's very, very effective in his job. And he spends time with the suppliers, teaching them, he and his people, teaching them how to adhere to the quality parameters of Honda, and very successfully. So his boss and his boss's boss and the top management have a very good or a very high regard for Aki. They have a very high regard for, they have a very high opinion of. Dos formas de decir lo mismo. Like in Spanish, tienen alta opinión de él o alto concepto, buen concepto de él. They have a very good opinion of him. A very good, se suele decir good con opinion. A very high regard for him. And they need somebody like him. They need somebody of his caliber, como en español. They need somebody of his caliber for the new factory in the United States, in Louisiana. This is the first factory that Honda is building in the United States. So it's extremely important for Honda to do it right and not to make mistakes, especially in quality. Because if they have quality problems in the American market, they have big problems. Legal problems sometimes. So the quality is supreme. Quality is paramount. Paramount means the most important aspect. And so they want Aki. And if Aki says no, probably he will not move up in the organization in the future. So Aki has to say yes. But he needs to talk to his wife. He's afraid. Tiene miedo. He's afraid. He is afraid. Se dice afraid. Many of my Spanish students say afraid. And afraid is un Federico. Yo soy un Federico, is I am afraid. Ahora tengo miedo, is I'm afraid. Aid. What's the first letter in the alphabet? A. Afraid. And I get the impression, me da la impresión, en inglés no solemos decir me da la impresión, decimos consigo la impresión. I get the impression that he's afraid, he's a bit afraid or reluctant, reticente, reacio, to speak to his wife. Because his wife is a typical Japanese mother and housewife. And she is happy living in Osaka. Aki is from Osaka. His wife is from Osaka. Aki has a good salary. The children go to a private school, a very good school, not too far from home, not too far, no demasiado lejos. Their life is, for Aki's wife, their life is perfect. In the next episode, we will observe the conversation between Aki and his wife. Very surprising and interesting conversation between Aki and his wife. They never speak to each other. You know, Aki's a businessman, an engineer. He works 24 hours a day. He brings home money for the family. His wife spends the money on food, clothes, schools, other things. And she likes it. She likes going shopping. She loves to go shopping, Aki's wife. But now life is going to change dramatically. From Osaka, Japan, to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Louisiana is in the deep south. Es el profundo sur, el sur profundo. Louisiana is a famous state. It's a member of the Confederate States of America with slavery. But Louisiana is especially famous for the French influence, la influencia francesa. And so we'll see that in the future. But for the moment, diseccionemos. Dissecting Aki Morita's. Last Friday, what did Aki Morita have? What did he have? He had a meeting. All right. How many people did he have a meeting with? Excuse me. How many people did he have the meeting with? He had the meeting with 2 people. Who were they? Excuse me? Who were they? Who? The other 2 people. Who were the other 2 people? Well, the meeting was with his boss and with his boss's boss. Fíjate en la genitivo sajón. With his boss and his boss's boss. Con el jefe y el jefe de su jefe. El español es más complicado todavía. Con su jefe y con el jefe de su jefe. Se dice jefe 3 veces. With his boss and his boss's boss. Pues en inglés también, eh? So, he had a meeting with his boss and with his boss's boss. Was it a surprise meeting? No, it wasn't. Did Aki know he was going to have this meeting? Yes, he did. Did he know the subject of the meeting? No, he didn't know the subject of the meeting. Did he speculate? Yes. What did he think the meeting was going to be about? Fíjate, ¿qué pensaba? What did he think the meeting was going to be about? ¿Qué pensaba que la reunión iba a tratar? What did he think the meeting was going to be about? He thought the meeting was going to be, porque no se ha mantenido todavía. Por eso dijo was going, iba a ser sobre. He thought the meeting was going to be about a new supplier. Supplier? What does supplier mean? Excuse me? What does supplier mean? How do you say supplier in Spanish? Proveedor? Yes, it comes from the verb to supply. To supply is suministrar, proveer, abastecer, to supply. Y hay otro verbo en español también. I can't remember. So he thought the meeting was going to be about a new supplier. What happened when he got to the meeting room? When Aki got to the meeting room, what happened? I don't remember. Come on, yes. Aki's boss did something. I don't remember what he did. Yeah, he offered him something. Aki's boss offered something to Aki. What did he offer him? A coffee. That's right. Yeah, when he got to the office, Aki's boss offered him a coffee. Here's a coffee. You want a coffee? All right. What else did Aki's boss do? Well, he offered him the coffee and he told him that the subject of the meeting was about Louisiana. La palabra about sobre aquí. He told him the subject of the meeting was Louisiana. Louisiana. Oh, Susanna, oh, don't you cry for me, for I come from Louisiana. No. I come from Alabama. Alabama is 2 states away. You have Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, the Atlantic Ocean. And on the other side, you have Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, and the Pacific Ocean. South, you have the Gulf of Mexico. And north, you have Arkansas. Arkansas, they dice aquí. Arkansas. Louisiana. Baton Rouge is the capital. So, Aki's boss told him that the subject of the meeting was Louisiana or about Louisiana. What was Aki's reaction? I don't remember. Well, did he get angry? No, he didn't get angry. Did he start crying? No, he didn't start crying. Did he get up and leave? No, he didn't get up and leave. Well, what did he do? He didn't understand. I mean, Louisiana, at first he didn't understand. But then he remembered Honda was building a factory in Louisiana, in the United States. I'll be back in the next class to finish this and move forward.